Hello, this is Ashton. I've gotten a couple questions about my Kali setup. And as you can see, I like to use Visual Code. And as you can see, I'm using the Docker extension with the Visual Code. I downloaded that extension and installed it. And this is one way that I actually manage some of my environments and do development at the same time. And also, if you go and look at my actual Docker right here, I like to use Docker Compose because it keeps a lot of my projects encapsulated, and I can put the whole infrastructure in Docker Compose, as you can see right here. So what I do have is, and this is for one of my malware analysis classes, and what I do have is I actually have the Kali Dev, and which is experimental. And then what I do is have the Kali prod, which is the rolling Kali. And then right here, I actually have the Kali beta, which is like some of the things that are going to come up in Kali that you can test out. And this is all in Docker. And I did have a normal GCC build environment for Nazim. One thing that I do like to do is like right here, I can build in any of these, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attach a shell right here, and as you can see is I uh, I do still share that directory. So if we go and type out the make, it actually does my make file and everything. There's a couple questions a couple questions about like memory management and getting the bytes of instructions. If you go and look into my make file that I made, so let me go open up my make file. So if we go over to here, let's go to my make file. So the golden line right here is when we do the Nazim right here. And when we do our flags, Dwarf, ELF64, right here, if you just put in L flag and then put in the output file that you wanted to output all of your logging to, as to the compiling, you will get this right here. So for instance, in my make file, I'm building two different file sets. So the add list right here is some instructions that I had in one of my lectures. And so if you really want to know the actual results of like the byte sizes of each piece of each instruction, what you can do is you can actually write out the equivalent 64-bit code for it. And for instance, right here, this is the add right here. So and this right here determines whatever you put in for these values right here for your variables would determine the result of your how many bytes each instruction uses. So this is a quick and dirty way to find out how many bytes your instructions are using instead of trying to do all the math, because it requires discrete mathematics, which I'm a big fan of. And you will have to actually take that hex and you'll have to convert it to binary and then convert it to decimal in order to get your bytes. So right here, I actually output all those instructions right here. But there's a line in instructions that use PTR, which PTR is only available in Mazim. So I didn't put that in here. I skipped that. And also, one thing I did do is I added some assembly instructions. So let's switch it over to this, and that's how I get all my highlighting here. And so now what I can do is I can run my make file, and it will spit out this pretty beautiful piece of code right here. Okay, well, the results from the code. and you can see all the instructions that I run. And this is one step close to learning how assembly works. And this is kind of what you would get when you disassemble that binary as well. So what I can do is, like I said, I can run my make file, and then my make file will spit everything out. And this right here is the very first binary that I built right here. I dive into maybe a few couple books. I might post some of those titles that I'm taking different things from and using it to run my class or get better ideas on how to run my class. But the prereq is learning assembly. That's the prereq. Also, let's go over to my Bitbucket, and we can talk about some of the ads that I put out there. So let's go over to our Bitbucket here. Let's get rid of some of these. So if we go over to my Bitbucket, we can go to repository details, maybe go here. And right here is the malware analysis portion. And you can actually see some of the instructions I put out here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up updating this make file right here. The README file. And if you're interested in learning how Git works and you don't understand how it works, you can see every commit that I put out here. So right here is the latest commit I put out here. You can go to that commit and see what lines I changed, what files I added. It's a real nice site to see. And this is what, pretty much Git is for versioning your source code. So if you're interested, go to my Git, pull down the assembly, and you can run this assembly and play around with it. So